Evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm gonna play some Magic tonight. It's Friday. It's Friday Night Magic here. Well, we're gonna jump really just straight into it. We're gonna play like we did last time. Pyro Prison. This is the deck list here that I'll be playing. It hasn't changed any. Took in some feedback from last time we played. But otherwise, deck's the same. Have our Flex Chandra, Walking Ballistas, Slag Storm Utility, got our sideboard. And we're going to take what we learned last time and try to apply it this time and see if we can go a little bit better than 3-2 and just getting our money back. With that, let's jump right into the league. We're going to be playing friendly again, since that's what we played last time, and here's our record from last time. Just happen to still have it up. 3-2. So let's see if we can do a little bit better than 3-2 this time around. All right, let's get into game one. Looks like we lost the die roll. That's all right though. You don't have to win the die roll every time. Our opponent is thinking. All right. This is a lovely start to the evening. We'll, although we like Rabblemaster a lot, we're going to be mulliganing a no-lander. You can't really keep a no-lander. All right, we have cards. No reason to run out and get a turn one ensnaring bridge necessarily. We'll go ahead and keep this, and we're going to, since we have the ensnaring bridge in hand, we're going to actually bottom the Rabblemaster here. And an unknown opponent, we're going to just going to skip our Gemstone Cavern as well, since we mulliganed. Hope this isn't burn, because then we are gonna feel it. Might be. All right. The main reason we didn't do the gemstone this time around is I didn't really have anything I wanted to pitch. It's a little silly to pitch Simian Spirit Guide. We definitely want to hit 4 if we can with Chandra. Obviously we didn't know our opponent. Blood Moon looks a little bit bad right now. Depending on what type of burn matchup it is, could be bad. Unfortunately, there's no real reason to rush out the ensnaring bridge next turn, just because it won't. We're not going to really be doing a whole lot with it at the moment. They are at least Boros burn. They might be Naya burn. It's a lot of damage. Whew, a lot of damage. All right, Chalice of the Void is actually a really good pickup here. We probably want to have Chalice on 1. I think Chalice on 1 will help. Then we should be able to get a Pyromaster out, which might be a Fog for a turn. Possibly. We'll see if they play anything here. Playing Chandra out next might be the better play, although we won't pick any creatures off. It might perform kind of like a Fog, depending on how much they care about our Chandra here. Gets an extra card out of hand, gets us closer to Ensnaring Bridge being able to turn on for these guys. Oop, there's a Lightning Helix. We might be just too slow here. Alright, can we get empty-handed here? So we can play Chandra this turn, or we could play a Blood Moon. They hit us for 2. I think we have to run out Chandra here. It's not the best option. We're not going to get too low, unfortunately, for the Ensnaring Bridge. Ensnaring Bridge is decent in this matchup for sure. We'll be probably leaving it in. We just not able to empty our hand fast enough. Chalice is great in this matchup, so those will be left in. Blood Moon is okay in this matchup, mainly because they do run a lot of red-white. Let's see if he cares about me. There he goes. He's got it. Looks like it. Let's see if he redirects it all. Alright. Alright, Walking Ballista is fine in the matchup. Spellskite will be good. Eidolon is good in this matchup. Slagstorm's not very good. Chandra's not very good. Rabble Masters are not very good either. I think we want to take the Rabble Masters out for Spellskite Eidolons. I'm wondering if there's anything better than Chandra in the board here. Shattering Spree's no good. Rabble Master I don't think is any good. The faster we can get a bridge down would be good. Spyglass isn't doing a whole lot. Torpor Orbs doesn't do a whole lot. They don't have really flashback. It might just be this. We could end up hurting ourselves a lot with the Eidolon, but they have a lot of low mana spells. So Chalice and Eidolon are good. Spellskite's good for that. Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista is good utility instead of just Slagstorm. So I think we're going to run this back. We might mulligan to try to get a Chalice or a faster Ensnaring Bridge. We'll see. Burn's a tough matchup for us. Alright. This hand's a little bit better than the first one that we had. It's able to kill stuff. Doesn't get us empty-handed though. We really would like a Chalice on 1 if that was possible. I don't think this hand does enough. If we look at it without the Chandra in it, and look at the 6, it's okay, but I think we can do better. Alright, we can get a Chalice on 1 here. Chalice on 1, Koth is a bit slow, but then we have a Slagstorm, and we can kill some creatures. I think the Chalice on 1 really slows them down, so I think this is a keepable hand. Ensnaring Bridge. Almost all their creatures are actually at 1, I believe. I don't believe they have much at 2, and so we are going to actually put that to the bottom. And we're going to run this out. Chalice on 1. And pass the turn. We'll hope that they didn't have in their hand a Destructive Revelry. We'll be a little behind if they do. See if we can get this Koth out pretty quickly. Cool. Countered. Oh, Ripple. Ooh. Ooh. Never mind. Another Chalice on 1 actually would be really good here. If we can get it up to Chalice on 2, I think it locks out all but like Rift Bolts basically. So we'll see if we can draw the lands. We need to draw the lands. Our friend over there has drawn their green source. Is it worth it just to hold this and hope for the best here? Destructive Revelry is an instant. We lock them out with 2 if we can get there. Second one would be actually really good as well, just to play safe. They're playing 1 spell a turn. I think to be safe, we'll throw another one out on 1. Although 2 will shut off the rest of their deck, I think another one on 1 is also very safe. We're not sure when we're going to draw our lands. Just 1 spell turn's not gonna kill us anytime soon. And there it is. I don't know how many they have in their main deck. Ooh, Eidolon. That is a creature that is a little higher than. So we have a few options here. We have the option to kill it and take 4. We have the option to pass and take 2. As painful as this might be, I think we want to go ahead and just clear it off the board. We just don't want that reoccurring damage. We really need to draw kind of runner lands. I think we're in an okay spot. 1 spell a turn is still pretty slow for them. Blood Moon is a nice draw. If we can draw our next land, we'll play out Walking Ballista in the event that we get a Incinerating Bridge. We can just sit behind it. It's a blocker. We're not going to probably pick anything off. Alright, 4 to our face. We are really hoping for a land here. So another Eidolon. Not a land. Okay, we're gonna block for sure. Not looking too good here. Burn's a hard matchup. Burn is a hard matchup. We'll go ahead and block. We're already pretty low here. There's another Chalice. Chalice on 1 hurts us more than it does them at this point. Unfortunately, I think we're going to probably lose this one. Not a great way to start off. Not the best way to start off. Especially since we can't really play anything, since Eidolon will hurt us. And I'm sure he's got a 2-mana burn spell. And he picks off our Chalice as well. Yep. Even if we played Chalice on 1 here to prevent this from happening, I don't think we're getting there. There's a mountain. There's a Mutavault. They're a little ways down. Alright, not an ideal way to start. But let's just run it back, and let's hope for a few more lands and maybe not such a quick matchup. Maybe if the league goes really fast, we'll do a double league. No promises. Alright, we got the die roll. Things are starting to look up already. We can put a chalice on 1 and do nothing. Man, this is hard to keep this against an unknown opponent. Koth isn't going to come down, or Chandra, for at least 3 more turns. Ensnaring Bridge could come if there was Runner, and then Rabble Master's a bit of a dead card. I think, as much as I like Chalice on 1, we're going to mulligan this. Okay, no red mana. Classic fluffy mulligans. Magus is great, doing nothing until we get a red source. This is, although it's technically 2 mana, it legends itself, so we're at 1 mana and a chalice. We're gonna mulligan this as well. Alright, so we've returned to 1 land, Simian Spirit Guide, chalice, and instead of having 2 4 mana planeswalkers and a Ensnaring Bridge, we have 2 Pyretics and no bridge. At this point, I guess we'll keep Pope to Scry into a land. Well, we can't cast him. And we're going to just hope a Chalice on 1 gets us there. I'm going to hope. We can cast everything if we grab 1 more land, because we can Pyretic Desperate. But kind of wanting that first hand if this was how it was going to be. Maybe it's burn again. Then Chalice on 1 will be good. Mutavault. Mutavault's probably a variety of things. Could be the Mirror. Could be Merfolk. Could be something else. Ooh, black mana. Wrench Mine. Well then. So probably 8 rack. It's not a very good matchup for us. We probably need a Rabble Master ASAP. We'll see. Chalice on 1's okay. Prevents Shrieking Affliction and the Rack, I believe. I believe they're both CMC 1. And so really we're just looking for a creature. A Snaring Bridge wouldn't be awful because of this Mutavault across the way. We can pray that they don't ever activate a Liliana. Alright. Here's where I think Chandra is a better card than a lot of things. So we're going to go ahead and play Chandra out here. She's not going to do a whole lot this turn, but she will allow us to dig afterwards. She's not going to race the Mutavault, but if he is scared, he might attack Chandra. Otherwise, I think we're going to get well, air quote, a free draw. The other option here is getting Koth, is usually the Planeswalker here. Alright, he's going straight for us. That's good for us. Ooh. And even if he goes for Chandra, it's like a fog. So it is a bit of like a fog here. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and 0. Can play a lot of things. Walking Ballista is actually okay. So we'll play a Walking Ballista on 1. We want to kind of get Chalice to 2, I think. Chalice on 2 would be really good. This isn't very good for us. So he can run this at our face or at Chandra. I think he runs it at Chandra, and if he does, we'll get another 0 activation out of Chandra. I think this is fine. So here, obviously, we need another land. We're going to go ahead and zero this Chandra on board, hope for a land. It is, and we can actually play this. We can then run out our other Chandra here, and now we get to do the double Chandra type stuff. And our opponent scoops. So if there's ever a time that I think Chandra has been very good, it's when she has the opportunity to dig. And we're talking about Chandra Pyromaster. Digging gave us 2-3 cards deeper there, whereas the rest of the Chandras don't necessarily dig. It's kind of interesting. Alright, in this matchup, I don't believe Ensnaring Bridge is very good. Hazoret's going to be coming in. Our Eidolons are going to be coming in. Chandra Pyromaster is probably fine, and Koth is probably fine in this matchup. If we look at the rest of our options, Graph-Digger Cage might be good, and Source Spyglass might be good. Spellskite is a maybe, Torpor Orb's a no, Ensnaring Bridge is no, Boil is a rock star in a swamp-only matchup. Anger's no, Shattering Spree no. So we probably don't care about the Slag Storms. We might want some Spyglasses here. We are a bit afraid of the Rack and Shrieking Affliction. So I think we're going to take the Abrades out and bring in the Shattering Sprees, in case we need to take care of 2 of those. I wonder if Retrace, it's Retrace that uses the land. You recast it, right? I believe. Raven's Crime. Retrace, you may cast this card from your graveyard. So, Graph-Digger's Cage is okay. We're gonna probably be pretty empty. Blood Moon seems... Ooh, actually, let me take the 2 Maguses out. It's good to turn off Mutavault. Bring 2 more Braids in for that, the Rack. Blood Moon's good to turn off Mutavault, and since we're taking Ensnaring Bridge out, we don't have really a way to stop Mutavault very well. I don't think Raven's Crime is worth it to bring in a Graph-Digger's Cage. Spellskite will bring 1 in for 1 Walking Ballista in regards to being able to deal with any removal to our Chalices or our Spyglasses. Alright, we're going to run it like this. It's a little more, it's a mixture of control in terms of like our utility control, but then we're pretty much wanting to be very aggro. Oh, this is an interesting hand. I kind of want to run this hand. It doesn't have like a quick start here, but it's safe from removal in that he's happy to take anything here. If it's just a discard spell, we can discard Blood Moon because it's not very good. And if we can get Chalice on 1, Eidolon, and Source Spyglass down, that'd be great. It may be greedy because there's a lot of targeted removal that he's going to be using. I think I want to keep it though, and I think I'm going to try to rush this Eidolon out unless he Thought Seizes it away. There's the Rack. All these yields to Rack. Luckily we have a lot of removal for the Rack. In a weird way, we don't want to rush actually with all of our Pyretic Rituals and all of our Simian Spirit Guides because their game plan is to remove everything from our hand. So in a weird way, this is actually probably benefiting us. So we're going to discard a Blood Moon. We don't feel like that's a very good card right now. And a second Rack. So Shattering Spree will be good here if we draw it. Alright. Although I like to get get pressure on them, I think a Chalice on 1 is the best here. They have a Raven's Crime in Graveyard. I don't want that really. I don't want any more racks. I don't want any more Shrieking Afflictions. There's our Mutavault for our Blood Moon. There's a French Mine. This one's a little bit of a tougher one. We can basically go empty-handed next turn. But I don't think we want to be empty-handed, obviously. X is 3 minus the number. This would be 6 damage over here. I'm going to go with they don't have Liliana immediately. We're going to try to keep our hand full. I want to just keep my hand full because they have so many racks out. We need to get one of our Shattering Sprees. Rabble Master is actually probably the better play. It applies more pressure than an Eidolon will. And it might hold him off from playing like a Liliana because he needs to activate Mutavault or it'll take a lot of damage. We'll update our record while our opponent thinks here. Again, we're just trying to stay as many cards in hand as possible. Whoa. Each player discards 3 cards. That's a thing. Alright, so we tried to keep our hand full, and this changed it. So we're going to take 6 here. We are staring down a Mutavault that can block our Rabble Master. We're hoping for a Shattering Spree. Shattering Spree can get around the Chalice. Ooh. That's actually a very good draw here. We'll take another 6, but now we present a lot of damage here. A lot. We're safe from like Liliana. Yeah, we're just going to do a lot here. Actually, I think we're presenting lethal. Yeah, I think we're presenting lethal. Because we'll make 2 more goblins. That'll be 5 tokens and 2 Rabble Masters. It's a lot of damage. We are going to take 6 here again. A Chalice of the Void. We'll hold that because we want to make sure we have something in hand, not take as much from the rack here. Everything attacks because Rabble Master makes Rabble Master attack. He blocks. I think we got it though, unless he's got some sort of black burn. There we go, and we got it. Could have blocked. He would have still taken, what is it, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think he still was dead on board after we drew our second Rabble Master. Well then, from very fast burn match, we had a pretty fast 8-rack match. I think the 8-rack match showed why we want to be the aggressor. If they don't have a way to disrupt our creatures, you'll just get plowed over. So it's definitely important to decide whether you're that aggressive person or not. This hand looks pretty good. I won't say fabulous, but pretty good. Koth, we'll get to Koth. We have ways to get bridge down faster if needed. If not, we hold Simian Spirit Guide. And then depending on the opponent, we can do a Chalice on 1, turn 1. We're probably not going to Chalice on 1 here, although we'd like to. In the event that it's Storm, Chalice on 2 really destroys Storm. It's a little slower to get out to get to 2, but the payoff is a lot larger than a Chalice on 1. A Blood Moon actually might be worth rushing out, so we're going to hold off one more turn and see what our opponent shows us in terms of cards, and see if we can figure out what they're playing before we go any further. Polluted Delta makes me think it's not Storm anymore, although I searched up a basic island. Huh. Okay. Not sure what to put them on just yet. Well then. Interesting. Well, we're not going to die too fast here. I'm now wondering if I should go ahead and Chalice on 1 with the idea that they'll have a lot of cantrip type things. I don't think they're Storm, even though it's Storm Chaser Mage. So a Chalice on 1 might be really good here. Chalice on 1, Blood Moon on the next turn, Ensnaring Bridge, and then Simian Spirit Guide into Koth. We're not going to be down to 1 card for a little while, so let's go ahead and get the Chalice on 1. I think that's safe. He can still cast and trigger Prowess, but he may not get like Serum Visions to draw more cards and keep just casting things. Opt as well, and based on being a Prowess type deck, I'll go ahead and guess that he has probably Lightning Bolt in his 60 as well. So we're just kind of going with a little bit of assumptions. We got a little bit of a brew, it looks like, on the other side of the table. And so we're going to go with Chalice on 1 there. I would like to see another color so that I know Blood Moon is really good. Just red-blue, it makes Blood Moon decent, but like showing Scalding Tarn, for example, here. Alright, so there's an Opt. We have Opt and Serum Vision. Alright, our opponent is probably holding up a counter. They are a blue deck. I'm thinking about running out just this Ensnaring Bridge. Although we're a little ways away from it being turned on for a 1 power creature, if he's afraid of it, he'll counter it or remand it, and that'll give me some information on if Ensnaring Bridge is worthwhile. It may also force the Scalding Tarn to fetch something like Steam Vents, and then our Blood Moon gets a little bit better. I don't know if I want to run a Blood Moon out just yet. And because of the redundant Ensnaring Bridge now, I think we're going to run one of these out. It's a ways from being turned on, like we said, but I want to see how he reacts on the other side of the table. Doesn't care. Alright. Doesn't care about our Ensnaring Bridge. Let's see what he fetches. Another Steam Vent. So our Blood Moon's getting slightly better now, with the idea that blue mana is probably a premium in the deck. seeing a Serum Vision, seeing an Opt, and although we haven't seen like a Remand, we're assuming there's some tempo to this deck as well. Alright, we drew another Blood Moon. I think at this point we just jam a Blood Moon. It's probably going to get countered. Part of me wishes I had one more land at this point, because then I could Blood Moon into Blood Moon. We could also attempt to Koth, although Koth is kind of our win condition, and with this Storm Chaser here, I need a way to... need a way to stop that. I may also try to Ensnaring Bridge, leaving both Blood Moons back for when I have 5 mana, with the idea that if he counters, I can play the second Blood Moon. Let's do that. I know the Ensnaring Bridges aren't doing anything. Blood Moon doesn't really stop our opponent at the moment, so having that 5th land with the Simian Spirit Guide, I feel like helps us stick a Blood Moon. I don't think a Blood Moon wins this, but a Blood Moon I think will really shut down our friend over there. Okay. If he goes a little nutty here before combat, I'll exile Simian Spirit Guide. Alright. He didn't go too crazy here. It's fine. Ah. Let me see now. Alright, we have the opportunity to throw a Blood Moon down. If we were to throw a Blood Moon down, we'd have 4 cards in hand. We could get it down to 3. We can throw down a Chandra and probably kill this beast, which might not be actually a bad idea here. And wait to get the creatures. Blood Moon's really good here. If we get Chandra down, we can Chandra, tick up, and Blood Moon. That might be worthwhile, because then we'd be down to 2 cards, and he would have to have only instant speed to deal with anything. That gets the most cards out of hand. I don't think, unless he has a Swan Song, he's not really going to probably counter anything here. I think that's the play. We'll do Chandra into +2 into Simian Spirit Guide into Blood Moon. We'll go with that. So in this matchup, from what we've seen now, they're basically like is it Blitz sort of style, which I like. We're going to keep Ensnaring Bridges in, although they can get kind of under it with the Fiend with a bunch of instant speed. What we'll probably hope to do is dump our hand. We'll be getting rid of the Chandra Pyromaster here in this matchup. Probably bring in the Eidolons and get rid of the Rabble Masters. We might bring Hazoret in as well. Alright, let's see where he goes. Alright, he's going at our face. We can get empty-handed next turn without any counters. Oh. Uh-oh. Are we just dead? 4, 7, 4, 8, 9, 10. Ooh. rewatching this, we could have done Koth minus, Chandra minus, but we'd still have one in hand and these both attacked. This is all instant speed. So, although we could have gotten to one card in hand, we haven't punted per se. Okay. Well then. Alright, Boil comes in, Anger comes in. There's an argument for Eidolon. Chandra's bad. The Abrades are alright. They kill our opponents. Slag Storms are fine. Walking Ballista might actually come out for a little bit more removal here. We have the Rabble Masters as well that I'm not wild about. Spellskite doesn't seem like it's very good because he's just kind of like instant pumping his creatures. Hazoret's okay. Walking Ballista might stay in, and Chandra... Well, Chandra just seems slow. I can use Rabble Master to block. Not very wild about doing that, though. Spellskite could... I don't know what his team or Battle Rage. It's creature you control, I think. No, it's target creature gains. So Spellskite would be good. Anger's fine. Boil's fine. Rabble Master's out. Maybe. And then Walking Ballista's okay as removal. Chandra's still not very good, though. Is there something better than Chandra? Hazoret? Hazoret blocks. Doesn't do a whole lot. Eidolons can come in and attack. I think I want Hazoret. We might be sitting behind a bridge with Hazoret. Not really sure if they have a way to get rid of the bridge. Okay. Let's see here. Anger and Slagstorm are great from what we saw. Blood Moon's fine, and Chalice seems fine, so we'll go ahead and keep this. It's not particularly fast to get anything down. We could just die out of nowhere, but I think Chalice on 1 is important in this matchup. Because it turns off all the Opt and Serum Visions, which the engine of the deck clearly is draw, cast something, and basically spit all the power into one of the Blitz creatures. So I think this Chalice on 1 is fine. And hopefully, if we can, he'll play creature and we'll get a Blood Moon on 2 or on 3rd turn into Anger or Slagstorm as needed. I think this is fine because that's not the most threatening creature that he has. And I think we just Blood Moon here. And I think at this point we'll be pretty good, pretty safe from a lot of the instant speed stuff, and I don't think the creatures grow too much in terms of the butts, the defense side. Worst case, he's using it defensively instead of offensively, and he doesn't lose the creature, but we get to kill the creature on the following turn. Chandra's a really good draw here, and we're actually just going to play Chandra and kill the creature. He'd have to pump twice, which would be like, or he could do Apostle's Blessing. I'm okay with that. Okay. It's got another spell to pump it one more time. Okay, that's 2 defensive spells. They're countered, obviously. And then Chandra might take this on the crack back, which is fine with us. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and use our Desperates, and we're going to attempt an Anger. See if our buddy over there pumps. He does. And we're going to exile. We're going to go kind of all in. And we got the creature off. Sweet. We kind of hope that he doesn't get the Killing Fiend, but he's been wasting a lot of spells protecting everything. All of our draws are live, so that's good. So we'll see where that takes us. I like playing against decks like the one our opponent has. They're a little different than meta. It really challenges us to make the right calls from what we see. I'm actually, although it's exiled, I like the Storm Chaser Mage. It's nice. So we're just really hoping that he doesn't have like a Killing Fiend. Because we shut him off blue, I don't think he can dig for one. And oh, okay. Probably drew this. We'll just hold the mountain for now. I don't see any discard from our opponent. Make them think we have maybe a removal. Play our Spells Kite out. Right now we're basically probably going to pass back and forth a little bit until one of us draws a threat. Because we have Koth as our win condition, I'm not going to hold 2 mountains. I'll just kind of keep one in the grip. Swift Spear. So we got this kind of Hasty Prowess, Killing Fiend, Craziness deck. I'll let that through. Come on, creature. Oh, that's a creature. I think we just start bashing face with Hazard here. We have Spellskite to block. I really doubt that our opponent has anything that exiles. I'd be surprised. I don't know of anything in red or blue that exiles. Our Blood Moon's doing a lot of work here. Our opponent was not able to fetch a basic island at the beginning. We're not too worried about getting hit in the face here. Chalice is pretty good. Is there any reason to have it on higher than... higher than 1? I don't know. If we just hold it in the grip and deal 2, then we have lethal next turn. I don't see our opponent just going off here. Let's just keep it in the grip. And we'll pitch it, and I think we'll have lethal next turn. I have a feeling he's going to hold back his Swift Spear here. There's an island. Our opponent has found blue mana. Is it too late though? Oh, here's our little storm chaser. Our opponent could find a million defenders here. Hazard does have a problem getting through. I think we still discard because we're ooh. Is there any reason to fire that off? I don't think there's any reason to fire it off. It's safety, not really safety, actually. I don't know. Unless our opponent doesn't find another creature, I think they just have to keep chump blocking, and we have Spellskite to protect from a Teamer Battle Rage. We have a lot of things going for us here. I think we just need to close this game out, and we'll be going to game 3. If they hold back, it's pretty obvious that they are trying to just chump. Our opponent is thinking. I can't see them attacking, so we'll just hold. Three to the face. Attack with Hazoret and then just pass. Wishing a Braid was a lightning bolt right now, but that's okay. 3 damage creatures and destroy artifacts. It's a good utility. It's a good utility. We'll trade with the Storm Chaser. I think we've won this. Really just waiting for opponent to concede and or us to draw our second card here next turn. We have 2 to the face with Hazoret and a following 2 to the face. At this point, our opponent's just showing us cards. I don't know if that's wise of them. We know Chalice on 1's really good, and we know Chalice on 2 is phenomenal as well. Unless they have some sort of storm package, which would kind of be sad. Alright, we got it. We're going to game 3. Blood Moon was fairly good in that matchup, so Magus I'm going to keep in here. Everything's got bigger than 1 on the other side. Ensnaring Bridge is still good as long as we can get to 0. He does have Shattering Spree, which makes our Spellskite a little bit worse. Eidolon might be worth it because they're kind of like a storm deck. I just wonder if Eidolon hurts us more than it hurts them. Because unless we have a threat, we could forgo the ensnaring bridge package and try to run them over. I don't think that's what we want to be doing. I think we're the control in this matchup. I think that because although Rabblemaster's fast, his creatures, he's either gonna chump block because he wants to live for another turn, or he's just gonna kill us on the crackback because he just pumps his creatures in Teamer Battle Rages. So I think Spellskite is like our all-star here. Walking Ballista is okay removal. Chalice on 1 and 2 are very important, and then getting creatures off the board as fast as possible is also important. Braid's not as good because prowess creatures, but I don't think that prowess creatures are the ones we need to worry about, and so we can take a few hits from them. Boil is a bit like one of our Blood Moon effects here, and so I think we're going to run it back just as it is. It's hard to say, but I think we're just going to run it back as is. We certainly want one of our lock-like pieces near the beginning. Ooh, is this quick enough? Chalice on 1 is really good, as we figured out in this matchup. Mutavault can block for us as well in case a Kiln Fiend comes down. A little worried about a Teamer Battle Rage, real fast Teamer Battle Rage. We can get empty-handed by turn 4 probably. I think we keep this. I think we keep it because Chalice is just Chalice is good. He's gonna probably fetch a basic island here. Which is good. He has to have the red mana. I'm sure he will. But there may be a reason to hold Chalice until can be a Chalice on 2. That might be really greedy though. We're drawing all of our lands. That's not very good. Hopefully we can not draw any more lands. We're good. We're good on lands. Alright, Storm Chaser. Oh, no, Morphos. Okay. I have to imagine. Oh. Okay, so he doesn't have one of his creatures. Let's see here. He put a card on the bottom. He's lightning bolting us. Ooh. Oh, Boil. Hello, Boil. This isn't an island, unfortunately, but Boil's pretty good. It's Chalice on 1 better than Chalice on 2. I feel like our opponent is digging. I want Chalice on 2 though. Chalice on 2 is 2 more turns. I think we do a Chalice on 1 here. I really want that Chalice on 2, but I think if we were to go and wait, dang it, our Boil's getting worse. If we were to wait 2 more turns, stuff like this happens. Ooh, alright, Spellskite's pretty good here. Avoids a Teamer Battle Rage. It avoids Teamer Battle Rage, which is pretty good for us. If we can live 1 more turn. Alright, so the play here, we're guessing our opponent at this point doesn't have very many counters. They haven't really shown us any. We're going to go ahead and Spellskite here. The reason we're going to Spellskite is to avoid some crazy next turn kill. And then Chandra actually takes care of Kiln Fiend. Unless they have Apostle's Blessing. Which is fine then. If they have Apostle's Blessing, then I think we can become empty-handed. We're a little sad that our opponent is deciding to play nothing but non-islands. Boil is such a fun card. Boil, you're no good here. Blood Moon into Boil would be fabulous, but just Boil straight up isn't very good here. 4 mana, kill a land. 4 mana, kill a land. It's not very good. So I don't think we block here if he goes for it. We just gotta be careful for Temur Battle Rage. Our opponent has 5 cards in hand. Can make this fairly large. There's a Shattering Spree. That's pretty mean. So our opponent probably is going to dig here. I think they'd be getting rid of the Spellskite if they had the Temur Battle Rage in hand. At present, I like our line right now. I think we have a really good chance of getting rid of the Kiln Fiend here. Is leaving up blue mana though. I just don't see dying here. We pay 2 life. No real difference there. So we'll let that go. Really hope they don't just like kill us here. Don't kill us here. Don't kill us here, please. They have 2 more spells. Wow. All right. So they can kill us. Wow. Well then, I think we learned our lesson there. Learned our lesson. They can kill us. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's update our thing here. We've won 3 games. We've lost 5, 6, 6. Oh goodness. That was something else. So we block, we die. They can still Apostle's Blessing. Our Chandra died there. It would depend on what they would draw next and what we would draw next. We had a Blood Moon on top, followed by Boil. I don't know. It's weird because Ensnaring Bridge is good if we could get empty-handed, but I think that was actually, what was it, turn? We didn't miss a land drop, so that was turn 3. Was that turn 4? We'll have to look back at that one. We'll have to look back at that one. That was a punch in the face. Let's just put it that way. Oh, when we run this deck, we just, I won't call it we get unlucky. We make bad assumptions. All right, we won the dice roll. We got to go 2-0 here. Have a chance at getting our money back. Let's do it. Maybe not with this hand. This hand does nothing. Play 2 lands, never draw the next land, so this does nothing, so we're going to mulligan this away. The Chandra's nice. We can kind of ignore that we have 2, so if we were to cover this far left Chandra, we can look at this 6 and say, do we like it? And if we looked at this 6, I'm sure we could get a better 6 than this, so we're going to mulligan. Alright. This is slightly better in that we can get a Chalice of the Void on 1 on turn 2, which is slightly slow for our deck. At that point we have a Magus which can die to removal, and a walking ballista that can remove a creature. The hand's okay. It's just very, very soft to a lot of starts from our opponent. If we ignore the Chandra in the hand, do we like 2 lands, Chalice, Walking Ballista, Magus over something else? Against an unknown opponent, not really. If you want to challenge with mulligans, just continue to watch the stream. We'll keep this. We'll scry a land to the top. Our opponent is going down to 6 as well. A Braid is okay. Helps with the removal if they get an extra creature out before this Chalice on the Void on 1. It's not drawing us a land though, which would help us with Magus if our opponent is multi-colors. I'm going to put this to the bottom and just hope we're not punished with creature heavy deck that gets like a Birds of Paradise down on turn 1. Our opponent has Scalding Tarn and appears to be passing. I feel good about that. We're going to go ahead. Do we Chalice on 1? We're not going to put Chalice on 2 for a very long time, so we'll go ahead and Chalice on 1 here. Although Storm is a threat and we just played our Blitz Buddy that showed us 2 is pretty good too, I think Chalice on 1 is going to be fine here. We're going to hope to draw lands and fail to draw lands. So at this point we're just going to run out of Ballista and pass. By running out Ballista, maybe they fetch a non-basic again. Blood Moon gets better, and they do. Maybe they remand this. They remand. Okay. Our opponent plays an island. It's very hard to Desperate Ritual into a potential next remand here. I think we want them to tap out before we attempt to do some sort of Desperate Ritual Blood Moon. We're going to go ahead and try the Ballista on 1 again. It's really hard to go straight into our counters like that with the Desperate Ritual, especially with us light on lands at the moment. Alright, yeah, we'll just try it again. We really need to draw lands. We're maybe playing against Blue Moon. It's very counter heavy. I don't feel particularly good about our Chalice on 1. It does look like a Blue Moon type of deck here. Oh, or not. Yeah. Hi, Emrakul. Hey there. There's our land. We're gonna play it through. They might have drawn nothing. You know. Okay. You never know. We could come back. Oh boy. Alright, our opponent has Blood Moon as well. Alright. Alright, Breach Blue Moon. Alright, Braids look bad in this matchup. Let's see here. What's gonna be good in this matchup? We have a weird problem here. So we want to be the aggressor here, for sure, because we want to get under our opponent. But at the same time, Ensnaring Bridge would be nice. They have cryptics though, so they can kind of bounce our stuff and then like just go for it the next turn. And we don't have any way to play the counter war interaction. So if they get to 4, I don't know if the Breach Moon deck plays Simian Spirit Guide, but if they're at 4, they can just cryptic bounce, and if we don't have 2 Ensnaring Bridges or we don't have something like that, then they're just going to punch us in the face. So part of me thinks that we actually may not want to play anywhere near the control matchup because I believe our opponent is the control player. So Abrades and Slagstorms are going to come out for Eidolons and Spellskites. We have this Hazoret we're going to bring in. We're going to take an Ensnaring Bridge out. Boil is okay here. Not great. Grafdiggers might be okay. Trying to think what else we want for these Ensnaring Bridges here. We might do 2 Slagstorms because they can hit face. They're not very good, but they're like burn. And a Grafdigger Cage? Doesn't seem very good. I don't think this is a very good matchup for us. Blood Moon I think is okay to leave in. We don't really have any other creatures to bring in. Moons are weak. Yeah, but what am I bringing in for Moon? What, Ensnaring Bridges? Alright, we'll do that. Ensnaring Bridges and Moon, and if we get one side of our deck package, we'll play the Moon control matchup. Boil is strong. Can be. I'd like to play first. Alright, everything we didn't want. Yeah, I have a lot of dead cards. I do have quite a few dead cards. Alright, this doesn't look like a very keepable hand. Actually, Chalice is starting to, now that I have it in my hand, Chalice feels real bad. Chandra still digs for us, which is pretty okay. Chalice into do nothing though. Feels kind of bad here. I think we're gonna mulligan this, even though we have the ramp to Ensnaring Bridge. I think we still encounter that issue. We encounter that issue where they could bounce and just then breach. I guess they have to have a. They have to have the cryptic then. This turns off a lot of our other cards that we brought in though. I don't know. It probably won't work out. I like that idea though. Chalice on 1, Ensnaring Bridge, and get Chandra down hopefully and play the long game. I like it. We'll keep it. It's in a blue deck. It certainly is possible that they have the cantrips and they kept a land light hand. That is always a possibility. They are blue, and blue likes to do that. So we're gonna go with it. We can get a second Chalice on 1. Look at that, it's spicy. I don't think we need 2 Chalices on 1. I'll try to get this Chalice on 2. That'll help with remands and the like. All right. Certainly can get remanded here. Probably going to get remanded here. Is it worth giving them a target for remand? Maybe. I really wish I could get Chandra down here. I don't know if I can. just feel like we're going to run into a remand. Remand, negate. No choice but to go for it. Go for what? Chandra? Or bridge? Also, I appreciate the communication. We need more minds to figure out how to get this deck through to wins. What? No choice but to go for which card? Four CMC things. Olega Super, thank you. I do like the Odyssey Mountains. Alright, well, let's see if we can get a Chalice on 2 here. Ooh. Ooh! I don't want to do Chalice on 2. I really want this Chandra down. I really want Chandra just to go the distance. And I am almost fully ready to just cast this Chandra and have it remanded. Chalice on 2 would be a beating. Alright, we're going to Chalice on 2. I think that's going to draw out the counter. I think Chandra can go the distance if we can stick her. Okay. That, I'm very happy with that. Let's draw a land here. Let's draw a land. Land. Land, 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 land. Yes! We'll jam Chandra here. Chandra's real good. Mildly greedy to get her down right now because of the possibility of a flying spaghetti monster off of a Simian Spirit Guide next turn. Ensnaring Bridge could get countered next turn as well with a 4 CMC. But I like our position here. Okay. So we're definitely in fear of like flying spaghetti monster here, Emrakul. And so Bridge is very enticing here to play to avoid such a situation from happening. And then our opponent's just counter drawing. They do have a Desolate Lighthouse that doesn't necessarily indicate that they're needing to dig. Our Chandra digging is probably not the correct answer. It's probably not the right answer, but it definitely digging gives us a fourth or a third card as an option here. A 1 ping I don't think is going to do a whole lot here. So let's 0 just to get kind of like a third card for options. Oh baby, it's Koth. Oh. Now I feel like we just gotta jam Koth. Yeah, I have 4 of the other Chandra. Every now and then we're gonna draw our experimental Chandra. Koth is really good here, actually, if we can get him to stick. Our bridge is very important, though, in the face of Flying Spaghetti Guy. Ooh. Wow. We have like 3 directions we can basically go here. I have to imagine he's playing 3 or 4 breaches. He needs an Emrakul in hand. Are we safe? It's a Cryptic plus Spaghetti. It seems what's going to happen. I agree with you. Let's... Man, I want this Koth down. I want this Koth down and bridge next turn. And I think that's the way to go. Man. Alright. We're going to attempt to cast Koth here. This is going to probably draw out a counter. Ooh. Well, in that case, he let that resolve. He let that resolve because he has a spaghetti monster. That's a pretty fast resolve. Let's see if he goes through this phase really quick. All right. Against my better judgment here, I think I want bridge down. We're gonna try for it. If anything, this will draw a counter out. All right, we're sitting all right now. Koth is a little further away than I'd like it to, but now he needs 3 cards. He needs a Cryptic, he needs Breach, and then he needs his Emrakul. We're sitting pretty nicely behind the bridge. We can hold 2 cards in hand and turn on Goblin Rabblemaster. That's kind of a fun little combo we got going on there. Okay, now he's dead. Oh, hi Eidolon. What are you doing in the hand? What are you doing in the hand, Eidolon? I think it's 3. We play Rabblemaster here. I think we want to hold Eidolon. And we want to hold Eidolon because that'll give us the option to attack with Rabblemaster next turn. We'll hope he's dead. He can do some crit. Oh, hi Chandra. Hey Chandra. How you doing, baby? Chalice 2 does. Yes, I do forget about my chalices at times. I get excited. I'm like, hey, it's a sideboard card. Jam it. And then you forget. You forget what deck you're playing. Alright, we're going to punch for a bunch. We're going to get down Chandra, turn on the clock, pump up Koth. Ooh. Ooh, what is this? Draw and return permanent to hand. Bolting a Rabblemaster. Alright. We're going to tick this up. Hit him for 1. We're going to play our Chandra down. Is Chalice on 1 important still? For digging purposes, probably. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. So 4, 5. We can do 5 a turn. So if we do 2 damage here. If we do 2 damage here, he'll be at 11. And then he can do 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, or not 16. Chalice on 2 is actually kind of a problem for all of our stuff. I think we just exile. Yeah. We're not playing that. We can't play anything down. We forgot to Koth. That's alright. Yeah, I can't have a Chalice on 1 now. Yep, we've been talking about Chalice on 2. This card doesn't exist in my vision. I apologize. What's funny is when I play in paper, this sits up front. I'll put bridge, I'll put I'll put my active planeswalkers up at the front. I'll put bridge and Blood Moon kind of closer to the lands. I kind of stack them together as... Ooh. I am Emrakul. So he has probably a second Emrakul in hand. Wow, he's really digging. I really don't like my Chalice on 2 now. Let's see here. We'll exile. We won't play a monkey. Actually gonna just ping. We'll untap a mountain. One, two, three, four, five. And we'll hold the mountain. We'll go ahead and hold the mountain so that our other mountain can attack next turn. Uh-oh. Ah. Okay. Okay. So now we got to kill this little guy. We can do 4, 5. All right. I think we just need to basically get Koth up fast enough. We're one turn behind because of a mistake earlier. In that case, we'll do this. Chandra Ultimate should be able to do it next turn as well. No to this. 2, 3. We'll play Rabble Master out. We'll untap. And we'll probably play our land at this point because we're not attacking in. Goblins have to. Yep. No, definitely. Her ult's going to be great here if we can resolve this. Cryptic might bounce. Okay, we're going to reveal until we see an artifact. So we're going to get a second bud out there. Okay. Okay, at this point we can kill one of them. Maybe a second one. We need to get our emblem for Koth here. Question is, does this matter if we want to keep Chandra or not? I'm thinking no. I think her ultimate's worth more in this case. It's crazy, isn't it, guys? I gotta kill both of these before anything crazy happens. Yeah. Emblem needs to be the first thing I do. Because if I got some weird cryptic stuff, things get really wonky here. We're gonna actually... Because we can't kill both per se this turn, because let's see here, we have 1, 2, we have a third, 3. So we can't kill both of them currently. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we need Koth emblem here, and then we can take care of everything. Once we get Koth emblem, we'll be able to win the game. So we gotta live one more turn. I think we can then Koth here, and we should be able to win. So emblem number 2. We exile top card to see if we have a castable card here. We don't. Let's see here. We can Chalice on 0 and Eidolon. So let's Eidolon. Countered. And then we attempt to blow one thing up. Just gonna 0 the Chalice. This prevents us from actually losing it to, like, he bounces Cryptic and replays it. We'll play our land from Chandra here. We'll let them attack in here. And if he like blocks, let's see here. So I can hit for 2 more and Slag Storm. Slag could have gotten both. Could it have? Three damage to each player. And then if I stack this on top, I do 3. Slag could have gotten both. Yes, you're right. Because, well, if he counters Slag, then it wouldn't have done it. Remain's fine here. And we basically can win. We lose to a Cryptic into... He needs a land as well. Spell kills 1, Chalice kills the other. You are correct, yes. I do not usually get too many emblems out here, so I got a little excited. We'll just deal the 3 damage to our opponent. Alright, we have 8 minutes. Got to pick up the pace a little bit on the last game here. Alright. Said Boyle is pretty good. After seeing so many islands, I do agree. Grafdigger's Cage doesn't seem as good, although they have Snapcaster. I think Boyle might be the better card here. Hazoret's probably not worth it though, so maybe Grafdigger's for Hazoret. We still are kind of the aggressor though. We're the aggressor, but we want a bridge, is basically what we want to do, and we want to avoid the bounce. We want to avoid that bounce of Cryptic into Breach. I don't know if there's really much we can do about that, though. They have the artifacts. I don't know if there's a reason. If we are close to killing them, but can't because of the artifacts, maybe the braids are better than a walking ballista here. That actually feels good. Braids over walking ballista. Walking ballista is only going to really ping off 1 or 2 things, where a braid can kill our big emporiums. Yeah, spree is not a bad idea either, actually. Let's do the sprees instead. Even though Chalice on 1, the replicate can help us here, versus a braid can get countered. I like the spree better. That's a good point. Thanks, WoW watchers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think this is fine how we had it. Magus is an okay Blood Moon. It's a clock Blood Moon. That's the only reason we're keeping it in for creatures. Yeah, I think we run this back. With that slight change since we saw the Imperium. Emporium? Alright. Welcome to Mulligans with Fluffy, where we get 1 land hands, we get chalices, and we get Chandras. It's what we get. Our opponent has mulligan to 6 as well. I think we mulligan this, even though we're on the play or on the draw, and we can draw into lands. We're doing nothing. They do have bolts, which gets rid of our Rabble Masters, and they'll be ahead of us. So the Rabble Master has to come out faster if we want it. So we're gonna mulligan this. Mulligan into here, have the lands you were complaining about, and Rabble Master. This is a Rabble Master on turn 2, or a Magus on turn 2, and a Goblin Master on turn 3. This also feels actually pretty awful. I think we're going to mulligan this as well, even though our opponent has kept the 6-lander, or 6 cards. I just don't feel like this does enough. Alright, we're going to mulligan. We have to watch our time. Alright, this hand looks actually fine. We're going to keep it. We're going to play our Gemstone Cavern and Magus off. Oh, Chalice on 1 would be very nice too. So we're going to put that on top of the library. We're going to play Gemstone now. Say okay to that. And we're going to get rid of... I think we want to get rid of our Magus here. Do we want Desperate Ritual? 1, 2, yeah. We'll keep Desperate Ritual in the case we get like Ensnaring Bridge or something. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play out our Chalice on 1 here. And we'll follow it up with an Eidolon on 2. And then we're just off to the races at that point, hoping that we can do something. Bolts our face, going very aggressive. Okay, this might be worth the Rabble Master. We take less from Eidolon. Remanded. Okay. And because we're at 6 minutes 30 seconds, I'm going to start playing very quickly through here. But I'll talk about my plays before I play them. So we're going to try again for the Desperate Ritual. And then we're going to jam a Rabble Master here. We're trying to avoid taking a lot of damage from our Eidolon here. Rabble Master actually gives us tokens so that we don't just die to an Emrakul as well, which is nice. Cryptic could tap us down for a turn, although our opponent is going for something, it looks like. Alright, there's our Platinum Emborium. And right on time is a Shattering Spree. So we're actually going to go ahead and replicate this once. Yep. That was right on time. Same targets. And we're gonna punch in. We're gonna just hope he doesn't have the spaghetti monster on top. Actually, let's attack first. Fake pump the creature there. Alright, our opponent's tapping all of our creatures. We'll get an Eidolon down. Don't have the spaghetti monster. We're going to go to combat, and we're basically just going to swing and force him to have something here. If he doesn't have anything, I might play Simian Spear Guide. I don't know. Snapcaster. Going for Bolt, it looks like. Going for... is that Remand? Our opponent's at 1. If we could die to a spaghetti monster if I play something. So we're gonna have to just pass. Even though they can't remand anything. I can't go to 15. I unfortunately cannot go to 15. Sorry, Eidolon. Our opponent literally has to have spaghetti. Well, has to have runner cryptics, I think. Alright, we got there. We got there. Ensnaring Bridge on top was actually a really good draw. Woo, we got there. Wow, Watchers with the call on the Shattering Spree. And the Shattering Spree, maybe I should have was there a reason to replicate one more time with Shattering Spree? If I didn't replicate the second time, was there a problem? Like, is there any reason to not replicate it with all 3 mana? If anyone's got an idea, I'd definitely like to know if replicating once there was better, or if I should have just gone all in on replicating twice. 2-2, we're 5 and 7, is that right? No, we're not 5 and 7, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We won 5, lost 3, 4, 5. Getting ahead of myself. I think that's right. If you didn't need the mana, no reason not to replicate it a bunch. Okay. Fair point. I guess there's not a lot in Modern that's going to like stop the triggered ability. Like Void Slime and Disallow. They're not really played in Modern. So we're probably... Yeah, we're probably safe to not have to replicate multiple times, but it probably was smarter to do it. Cool. Alright. Here's our last match of our league. I do appreciate everybody watching that is watching. I don't think I have much to do after this league. I could do either a popper game, maybe. If we win, maybe I'll kick off another one. We'll see. We'll see. Let us see how we do, and then we'll decide what we're doing. This could be the last set of games. If we're feeling good, maybe we'll play a little more. Magic's expensive. This was our F&M instead of going to F&M. I think I got sick last time I went to my F&M. Got the flu from someone. So, all right, we won the die roll. Let's play first. Classic fluffy hand. Classic. It is a turn 1 Rabble Master. We are on the final match of our league. We have a turn 1 Rabble Master, which is actually the fastest thing we've had probably all leagues. And then we do nothing. Do we want to go for turn 1 Rabble Master and see if it carries us? And then, I'll warn you now, draw no lands. Or do we want to mulligan this away? Part of me just wants to go for it. You know, you don't play this deck just to sit around. We die to a turn 1 Bolt, turn 1 Fatal Push, turn 1 Path to Exile. It's in the deck for a reason. Jam it. Alright, we'll jam it. I kind of like it in this one because if it fails, we'll be a little bit, but they'll waste time getting the Rabble Master off, and then we'll have Ensnaring. So we'll go ahead and keep this. We got 2 keeps. We got 2 keeps from the crowd. We're jamming Rabble Master. Maybe our opponent just scoops in fear. I mean, you know, I'd see this and I'd be like, next game. Alright. Our opponent is a green-white deck, a green deck, Elves, Utopia Sprawl. Alright. Naming red. Naming red. Alright, there's no reason to play the second Gemstone Caverns because it legend rules itself, and we may need the mana. So we're going to hold it off, and we're just going to jam Rabble Master. Our deck does literally nothing if he can kill Rabble Master. If he's green-red Ponzo, we're actually really good here. Let's see. Making all the mana. Green-red. Uh-oh. Rabbles. Chalice on 1 is excellent on turn 3. We may be playing the Chalice on 1 here. We're going to swing in and see what our opponent does. At this point, our opponent, yeah, is going to block. And now has 3, 6, 7 mana. I hate being behind here because he might be jamming a Inferno Titan. He jams an Inferno Titan. How far behind are we if we play this Gemstone Caverns? Because if he does, let's see here. Alright, the reason I'm not going to play Chalice is he's got 3 cards left. If he Utopia Sprawls 2 more times or even 1 more time, I don't feel like that gives him any real more advantage than he already has. If he plays another Arbor Elf or something else that could block our Rabble Master, we get punished a little bit, but I think we've got him in a place where if things go awry, I want the ability to get an Asterian Bridge down. And what makes things go awry is probably an Inferno Titan here. Chandra's a pretty good draw. Adding mana, playing 4 Pia Kirinalar. Okay. So our Chalice on 1 would have done nothing there. Okay. Get a mountain. I think we just swing in here with everything. Although I'd like to get the Chandra off the board, I don't think we're going to be doing that here. Taking 2 Thopters with Rabble Master would be fine. This is also fine. Alright, our opponent's probably going to be ticking up here. They wanted the Arbor Elf. Well, Arbor Elf couldn't block, but they wanted to keep the Arbor Elf for obvious reasons. Birds doesn't do anything for him here. It's interesting, the way Chandra's ability resolves, you actually have to do the Arbor Elf portion first. If you don't, hi Rabble Master. If you don't have a chance to actually use Arbor Elf when the ability is resolving. What are we doing here? If we were to jam a Rabble Master, they are probably not doing anything to it just yet. We get in for probably 2 more damage because birds blocks. Can we get our opponent to 3 before Chandra goes nuts here? I think we just try this. Mainly because it might force Chandra to pick off Rabble Master. And I think we're going like kind of wide-ish. We haven't shown any like true lock pieces. We look like a very aggressive deck. And so if we can hide the lock pieces and not show them, we've shown them a very aggro package. And I like that. Come on, whiff. Hits a Stomping Grounds. I don't think they drew anything important. Another Arbor Elf. Another Chandra. Probably picks off Rabble Master. Yep. And we win. If we draw land. We don't draw land. In this case, we're going to take 1 at Chandra, another at Chandra, and 1 at face. We clear Chandra, guaranteed, and oh, we don't get 1 at face here. All right. We just keep attacking. Our opponent holds for 1 turn in case they draw Big Daddy. Oh no. Oh no. No. Okay. You don't have to kill the creatures. Dang it. Alright, we need a land off the top. It's not a land, guys. We need a land. One more turn to draw land off the top. Is there? I don't want to show the chalice. Come on. 6, 9, 2 turn clock. A little bit of fire breathing. No! No! What are you doing? Here, let's abrade this. No, he's above 3. No. What is happening? Come on, deck. Alright, if we Desperate Ritual and Ensnaring Bridge, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in hand. He can punch us with Kitchen Finks. He can't attack with Inferno Titan anymore. It does show our lock piece. Gives us an opportunity to possibly win. Do we like that line? Do we like that? I mean, yeah, we can do Chalice out as well. I mean, I don't need to show him Chalice per se, because he can still attack, and I can get it out later. So if we were to do this, Desperate on 2, 3, and let's just say I get the Chalice out. I have 4 in hand. Things can still attack. I still need to draw runner lands before I'm out. So that would be 3 to the face, 6 to the face, 9, 3, 6, 9. Because if I get this out, attack once, I'd have to draw Desperate Ritual, and I could do a second Ensnaring Bridge. That would be down to 3 cards. 2. And then I would need to draw exactly... I have to draw exactly land Desperate Ritual to get out of this. Or I scoop and don't show him the pieces. I think I'm going to go ahead and scoop. I don't think it's totally the right choice, but unless I see Desperate into land on top, he had it anyway. So we'll draw cards. We have Chalice, which would have stuck us at 3, and another Ensnaring Bridge. Magus, no, it's still a basic force. If it was on a stomping ground, it would kill it. So although it may not have been 100% correct, after drawing 2 cards, we saw that we were still dead on board. This is a forest. Yep, basic forest, no problem. All right, so we prevent showing any lock pieces, which I think is fine. Torpor Orb seems pretty okay with them because they have probably Rex Sages. Anger seems slightly better with the Kitchen Fink showing than Slagstorm. Blood Moon is actually kind of bad in this matchup, so we might take Blood Moons out. Eidolons seem actually pretty good. So what are we? Yeah, Ponza plays Blood Moon as well, I agree. So are we aggressive here or are we control? It's hard to say whether we're a control or not. I think basically all of this is bad. So Shattering Spree does probably nothing. Boils is useless. Hazoret is no good unless we're taking the Ensnaring Bridge out, which I don't think we are because they're trying to get Haymakers. They have the Chandra, which is a problem for us. I think Angers and Torpor Orbs are what we want to do. I don't think Blood Moon is any good, but I'm going to get rid of the 2 Maguses and 1 Blood Moon to bring these 3 pieces in. They have a lot of 1 and 2 drops. Eidolon could be good, but if we're not able to empty our hand, then Ensnaring Bridge is bad. Walking Ballista I'm going to keep in because it can ping off the Planeswalkers if needed. I'll leave Chandra in for digging and Koth in as a win condition in our own Chandras. Is a Braid any good here? A Braid can kill a lot of the rampy creatures, so I'll keep it in as well. And Slagstorm is okay. And we brought in the Anger. So we have all of this to remove creatures, Walking Ballista to remove ramp creatures, Torpor Orb to prevent Wreck Sage type things. I think we do this. Alright, we would like to play first. This is maybe actually okay, although we don't get... Chalice, I would disagree. Chalice is actually pretty good against them. They have run a lot of Utopia Sprawls, Utopia Sprawls, the Arbor Elves, and sometimes they've run, and we saw it in this case, Birds. I think it's fine. Would Eidolon be better than Blood Moon? Possibly, yeah. That might have been a better choice. So I think this is keepable because although we don't get Chalice on 1, we get Chalice on 2. And because they like to ramp with Utopias and Arbor Elves, we will probably shut a lot of that down. And then after turn 2 here, they'll probably fiddle on mana and we'll get double Rabble Master down. So we're going to go ahead and keep this. Our opponent's deciding whether to mulligan or not. They mull to 6 and keep hand. I think you are correct. I think Eidolon would have been a little bit better here. Alright, there's the Utopia Sprawl. Naming probably red, so that's fine. And then we'll just Chalice on 1. We'll follow this up with Rabble Master, and see if that's really enough. They usually do destroy lands here, so I'm not too worried if our main goal is just to punch them in the face here. I'm not going to worry about Blood Moon here. They're probably going to fetch a Stomping Ground. They need the red mana anyway. There might be a case for running it out, but then they could, if they need 2 green, they just fetch for Forest. So I think Rabble is the correct play. Our opponent is at 4 mana. They could kill one of our lands. Ooh, Huntmaster. Okay. Our Braid is looking pretty good here. I think we Braid. I think we just Braid our Huntmaster over there. I think we go ahead and Rabble. I don't see any reason not to Rabble here. There's no benefit. There's no benefit to hiding the Rabble for after second main, because we're going to just punch with a lot of power to the face. Okay. We're going to hope for not another Rabble Master, or not, sorry, not another Huntmaster. There's Chandra. All right. One at Chandra, the rest at our opponent. And I think Blood Moon's fine here at this point. So would the Eidolon be better here? I'm almost certain it would at this point. Ooh. If that's the case, we'll Ensnaring Bridge. Alright, we're playing now a little bit of a longer game. We are set up kind of on behind our lock here. I'd like a Torpor Orb at this point. Uh-oh. At this point, we're just literally going to play whatever comes into our hand, and we're going to just pass the turn. Obviously, our opponent's going to be able to draw a substantial amount of cards with their fetches. Sorry, not with their fetches anymore, but with just any land drop. and Tireless Tracker is going to become huge. At this point, we've lost kind of that, if you will, the aggro side of this, and this is where we had to decide whether we were aggro or not. At this point, Blood Moon is actually looking better than Eidolon, just specifically for Tireless Tracker. So by playing the second Rabble Master, we have to. So you're saying after the second time? That's fair. To just kind of go wide on our opponent. That is fair to let Rabble Master generate a token every turn. Huh. Surprised they didn't put Bridge on top of my library. I guess I just replay Bridge. Gets Rexage? I don't know. They got Nissa. It's the opposite. If you have the top card of the library, if land card otherwise, 4 for legendary cleave, untap, make things. I like this. I like seeing these. I was worried about like a Rexage or something. I'm starting to wonder what they're going to be looking for. Alright. Yeah, Pyretic. Woo. Spicy. So, I like what I'm seeing. Yeah, they force if able. I think Marples is saying the following turn when I went ahead and attacked into our opponent when they had just the wolf out. All right, our opponent has drawn like 15 more cards than us, which is really bad. The fact that they didn't find like a Rexage off their summoner pack, basically the primal command, makes me think they don't have it. Maybe. Yeah, sorry, you are correct. It did get torched. So there was no real way to save the Rabble Master because we had one torched. Man, this guy's huge. We had one torched and then we attacked him because if we dumped the other one. So we were going to lose both Rabble Masters either way. You are correct. This is why I like the conversation. I appreciate everybody that is here at the stream right now. When you're trying to like learn a deck and trying to play it to a precise ability, conversations like this help because you get to see the different angles. Okay, Inferno Titan. I'm not totally sure what our opponent's looking for since their primal command didn't get them like their answer. Got him Nissa. Okay, Pia and Kieran. Our opponent is discarding. Have I seen the Enduring Ideal deck? Is it the one that Saffron Olive most likely played? The white red Enduring Deal one? With the I can't think of what it is. But if it's that one, yeah, I've seen at least kind of the deck list. I can't say I've attempted to play it yet. Alright, our opponent is halfway through their deck and hasn't found an answer for Ensnaring Breach. Sorry, Lynx, I don't know how to allow you to post. Ensnaring Bridge number 2 is really good here. How would I allow you to post a link? Was that a Nightbot thing that gobbled that up, or was that a Twitch thing? If it's just the MTG Goldfish list, I'm aware of which list that is. Our opponent is on the burn us out with Thopter tokens. Our opponent can draw a lot with Nissa. I play a green devotion deck that runs this Nissa, and it's a lot of fun. So they can draw a whole bunch and gain a whole bunch of life. I'm still wondering what they're looking for to get rid of the bridges now. Whew. I like it. Acidic Slime? Eternal Witness, getting back. Ooh, Chandra. So how do we win? So we win with a Koth or a Chandra, which doesn't look like that's going to win it anymore at this point. At this point, also, our opponent's having just fun. You can shoot me with clue tokens. Yes, this is true. They can shoot me with clue tokens. That is some pretty sweet synergy. Clues and Pia. All right, so we've drawn our card that could have been good without their own Chandra out. Eldritch Evolution, a Kitchen Finks into Eternal Witness into Get Back Chandra was quite the spicy play here. I have a feeling what they're holding in hand is probably a bunch of Utopia Sprawls and Arbor Elves. So we're playing this out. But by playing it out, I don't know. I don't think we could redirect here. So I think we're playing it out, but I don't know what we're doing here. I think we can redirect. Yeah, they can pitch a lot to Hazoret here. Yeah, I'm pretty dead, actually. You guys are correct. Yes, this is game 2. I lost game 1 because I could not draw a mountain to Slagstorm them for 3. The deck looks like a bad version of Lantern. It's not trying to be a Lantern deck. I guess we'll redirect to Chandra. I would disagree that it's a worse version of Sun or Moon. Sun and Moon is more about the lock, where this one is a kind of what I like to call a pivot deck. So it pivots on 2 axes, whether it's very aggressive or not. And then the pilot of the deck, when we are playing, you have to determine what role you play in the matchup. In this matchup, we determined we were a little more on the aggressive side. We should have gone all in on one or the other. At this point, though, based on what I'm seeing here, we certainly should have been more the aggressor. There was an argument also earlier for Eidolon instead of Blood Moon, which I think has been okay to some degree. But at this point, I don't know if it would have been enough damage. But to your point on the Sun and Moon thing, I think they're just doing different things. Sun and Moon's going to be really good in one set of meta, and then this will be really good in other sets of meta. I think it's just preference. No, this doesn't have scrying sheets because they're not snow-covered mountains, even though they look like snow-covered. Correct. You're correct. I would make the argument, though, in a lot of control matchups and or a lot of even a lot of aggressive matchups, you have your dead draws. Obviously, this one's a little more coin flippy. And so, there we go. So with the deck, and that was our league. Let's take a look at the deck here. So I hear what you're saying, Jadra. Jadra. So if we look at the deck's core components really quick before I look at the sideboard. Wow, sideboard. Come over here. put the sideboard on one column here. So there is, let me pull it apart how I usually like to show it here. One moment. Chalices go to this one. Slag storms come over to this column. The braids are here, here. Okay. All right. So the reason I pull it apart like this is, and you're right, there's certainly like this kind of 50-50 component, and you don't want to be drawing your rituals if you're wanting this or that. So what we have is we have a light land base of 21 lands, and then we have, in this case, I'm running currently 9 ramp, if you will. And if you think of like the green big decks or other things, I mean, you have Birds of Paradise and you have Arbor Elves and ramp type things as well. So this is our ramp spot, which is 9 creatures. And then this is our lock suite. Chalice on 1's really good. Chalice on 2 is usually pretty good. And Ensnaring Bridge, and then the Blood Moon. And these 14 cards, along with these 9 cards and a land, the idea is in many cases to try to get out Blood Moon on turn 1 and really stall out our opponent. We're not really going for a hard lock like Lantern tries to do. We're trying to do enough of a lock to give us time to find our inevitable pieces. And our inevitable pieces are Rabble Masters and Chandra Torch of Defiance and Koth of the Hammer. Chandra Pyromancer is Chandra Pyromaster is a flex spot right now. She should really be in this column. And then other people that have run this deck have done Walking Ballista to some good usage, and so they'll run this as well as a sweeper or some utility or burn. Chandra and Koth are the win conditions. There's definitely a case to put in a second Koth instead of this Chandra. I've actually had pretty bad luck with having the second Koth for some reason, as in never drawing it, and then for some reason I always draw this Chandra. If I put the second Koth in, I don't know, I just don't draw the Koth. Final pieces here are the Braids and Slag Storms. Slag Storm hits face and clears, and a Braids utility. And that, if Affinity wasn't in the matchups, and if there weren't some random artifacts, a Braids would certainly be something else. Sideboard's what it is. You have kind of a 2-pivot sideboard, Eidolons and Hazoret, and then you go very aggressive. Or you have kind of the left side, which is a little more controlling. And so in each matchup, you got to determine what you are. Is it easy? Is it super streamlined? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. That's our game plan. That's what we're trying to do. Let's see here. Let me see if I have enough play points. I am 1 play point short of being able to start another friendly league. 1 play point short. What do you guys want to see? I can play I can play 1 or 2. Excuse me. I can play a couple just kind of in the fun lobby for, I guess, a few, not tickets or just for play points. I can play 1 or 2 more games before calling it a night here. Let me share what I have. I have a couple versions of Scape Shift. I have a Bant Scape Shift, a Bring the Light, a white, a Bring the Light black Scape Shift. So these are ones that use Bring the Light and black cards or white cards. The Green Devotion deck I was talking, play the Enduring Ideal deck. I don't have an easy means to get cards just yet. I've looked at Mana Traders and a few other things. I can pull it up. We can talk about it. Isn't it on, not MTG Dreams, the Goldfish, right? Let me make sure this is in screen here. He had the Enduring deck in here, right? I thought he did. Was it a little while ago? Here, let me figure out how to shut the link thing off real quick. I think I have Nightbot on. Let me make sure Nightbot's behaving. Spam protection. Okay, so Nightbot's not blocking the links. It must be Twitch that blocks the links. Permissions? Nope. Settings. Where's the moderation? I don't have a means really to play a deck just out of the blue. I can certainly work on that. I am trying to figure out why your link from earlier was a problem. Channel and videos. I can't say I've actually told it to take away things. Auto mod. Okay, here we go. I don't care about all that. Block permitted list powered by auto mod. Opt out of commonly blocked items. Here we go. Delete links in chat. Boom. All right. Save changes. You should be able to post a link now if you were trying to post a link earlier. I'll have to mess with that to make it a little more stable. Have I tried mana traders? I have looked into mana traders. Manatraders.com. This thing? I have certainly looked into this. I definitely wouldn't mind trying to get this to work. I don't know what I would need. That would be the only thing. I guess a lot of modern decks are in this tier. You got the base sub, 30 to 100 tickets. But what do you play? What do you play? Because I definitely would like to stream more, and hopefully people are enjoying the content that I provided today. But I'd have to stream quite a bit to get value out of this, wouldn't I? I would think. Because unfortunately, land bases in modern are gonna sit here in the 59 or 34 to 59. I seem to have a lot of the good cards. I have okay good cards. I have a lot of the different fetches and stuff. I have Raleigh Fenza from Goldfish a while ago. Built that. I have Titan Shift. You do mostly budget decks. That's fair. That's fair. Every now and then, Goldfish will put something up and I go looking at it. White Goat Devotion and stuff like that. Could play some Zombie Hunt. Thanks, DJ Scott, 1996. Appreciate you hitting that follow button. If you've got any feedback on how to make the stream better, definitely just hit up the chat. You can also, I will say you can Twitter message me and it'll get placed into the void of Twitter. Wonder why that didn't update. There it goes. All right. You should be fine with fetches and planeswalkers. So in terms of fetches, the fetches I don't have are the blue ones. what I mean by blue ones. Scalding Tarns. Because Scalding Tarns, man, that's expensive. It is expensive. I definitely wouldn't mind playing like a couple of the goldfish decks. Actually, one of the goldfish decks I want to play here is this Moralen. This one looks pretty sweet. I probably at heart I'm kind of like a Death and Taxes type of player. I like to punish my opponents for playing greedy mana bases and or other greedy options. So this one looked pretty sweet. I don't know how much of this I actually have. I definitely don't have Liliana's. If I don't have Inquisitions, I have Thought Seizes, although I don't know if I want to take damage in this deck. I have the Bridges. And this deck looked pretty sweet. I have the Marsh Flats and the Godless Shrines, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just don't own like Liliana's. So you suggest Mana Traders, but then you run into a card like this Liliana, right? And then you go to, you know, Mana Traders here, and you look at their plans. Non-conventional denial is the best. I agree. And you look at this and like, so if 2 Lilianas are 120 tickets, then you pretty much have to be in premium to run this one. I'm not saying this is like budget or anything, but even though it's only 290 according to Goldfish, I would have to subscribe to this like premium section. And let's just say like it's that and like Scalding Tarns or something, then I'm like weirdly have to get into gold, unfortunately. You would just sub them out. That's fair. I do like to run like this was submitted by someone. I'm thinking this guy, mostly not gay. And so I do like to run it how they've envisioned it, because there's a reason everybody, to Jadra's point earlier, there's a reason people make decisions. So for the Pyro Prison deck, we're running it because of different decisions that were made by the MTG Salvation group that's building it. And there's definitely a lot of talk that goes into why you pick one deck and why you pick one card over the other. And so I really like to try to understand why they are picking the options before getting too crazy with the options there. I will definitely look into Mana Traders though, as an option. I don't think I have time tonight to do that. So with that, let's play a little of this Green Devotion deck that I have. It can get kind of silly. We'll play like one or two of these in the quick queue room. See if we can get our 80 points back for just another event in the future. So we'll play like two runs of this. I'll look into Mana Traders. I'll look into other things. We're obviously right up against the holidays, so wish everybody happy holidays for sure. But over the holidays, what I'll do is I'll consider my options that you suggested, cert, and definitely decide what would be the best. There's a lot of MTG streamers out there, so knowing what would be different and kind of interesting and fun to make myself different might be some of like my research over the next week. There's a lot of drafters out there. I know there's a lot of Cube people right now. I watch a lot of the Cube stuff. It's a lot of different things. I got into Pauper a little bit. Pauper's pretty sweet. So just determining what we want to do to make us stand out a little bit would be something I would like to look into. So we're gonna play Green Devotion here really quick. We'll run one or two Green Devotions. This deck's kind of fun. So we're trying to ramp up. We're trying to use Nykthos in this deck and get Garrux out and ramp to basically one of my favorite cards, which is Craterhoof Behemoth. This is kind of a slow hand, unfortunately, but we'll keep it. We are in the fun rooms. I do hear you though about the subbing the really expensive components out. You could play like probably Liliana Last Hope. Doesn't quite do the same thing, but if you want that Planeswalker role, you could definitely do that. Yeah. Let's update the title here real quick. Fun couple games. Green Devotion. We'll do that to finish off the night. We'll get a Forest, Oath of Nissa. Oath of Nissa is probably one of my favorite green cards for digging. Arbor Elf seems fine. We're against a control deck, it looks like. So this deck does alright against control. We do try to dump our hand out at some point, so that gets a little awkward when they can counter. Path is fine here. Path is fine because we don't have a Utopia Sprawl. Our opponent's not doing a whole lot, it seems. Double Nykthos is a little awkward here. Like really awkward. We'll just run Garruk out here. Garruk ramps us. Garruk ramps us. We'll create a beastie. We're in this weird remand target zone now since they were able to untap with 2 blue. I'm not too worried though because we just generate mana. Like we just barf out tons of mana. And we barf out actually a lot more than we really need to because we have a secondary Nykthos as well. Ooh, Utopia Sprawl is kind of nice. You know, Utopia Sprawl actually nets us mana here. So we can do this for 4. Play our Courser out. If he counters this, I'd be kind of surprised, but we'll just make tons of mana here. I actually don't know what we want to do here because they have mana open. We could get countered here. I kind of want to play the Summoner Pact into this and see if they counter it. They might counter our creature that comes in after this, but I think it's worth trying here. We have good targets. Here we go. Hey. Okay. They've remanded, and now we basically wonder if we can like do something crazy and win here. So we can Summoner Pact. We can go get Eternal Witness and play an Eternal Witness, getting back our Summoner Pact. 6, we can generate 6. So I hate doing this online. I like doing it in person. So we have 2 more Eternal Witnesses. So I think we get an Eternal Witness. We play an Eternal Witness. We get back Summoner's Pact. We say okay to that. We say yes. we go use Summoner's Pact again. This is just fun. We get a Burning Tree Emissary, I believe, here. Hold on. So if we get Summoner's Pact here, we can play Eternal Witness. We play the land to, I think we get, then we get, so we'll have another Eternal Witness. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. If we have, oh, we need 11. We need 11 to do this. How I want to do it. Next turn is the Verdict turn. I'm trying to win right now. I think we can with a Burning Tree, though. We have a land on top. That's fine. We play Burning Tree here. We get our 2 mana back. This is why I like to play this one, because it's a little bit of a puzzle deck. We'll play our Nykthos out. We can gain land, life. That's fine. We play another Eternal Witness. Getting back our Summoner's Pact. Use the ability. Make tons of mana. Cast. We get our Eternal Witness here. We cast Eternal Witness. Basically pray we have enough here. I haven't done the math maybe correctly. If we haven't, we're kind of in trouble because we've cast Summoner's Pact a couple times here, but I think we have enough that this is now maybe lethal. And this is why this deck's hilarious. Our opponent taps out, and on turn 4, I think we have enough to kill them. Yep. So we have Craterhoof for 12 and a Beast for 10. And the gist of the deck is basically looping Eternal Witness with either Primal Command, or we loop it. And Burning Tree is actually probably the most critical card to this deck because it's mana neutral. It's kind of like the Manamorphose. And it allows us to Summoner's Pact like the final pieces using Nykthos. Usually we're untapping with Garruk to do this, but we had one in hand. The fact that we actually have Garruk out, we can untap and then like get a Nykthos activation into playing a Nykthos is kind of sick. So yeah, it's just kind of a hilarious deck. It won't always work, obviously. That's why it's not like some weird tier 1 deck. But because blue is not in the meta as much, it has these weird, like, fun combo pieces. In this matchup, we actually don't really change the deck too much. So these are our 3 haymakers: Craterhoof, Hornet Queen, and Primeval Titan. We're a little bit afraid of them just having tons of mana, so we do have chokes as options. And so we usually take out like a Courser and like 1 Oath of Nissa or something like that and bring our chokes in. Spellskite's probably not very good. They're not going to be trying to remove our hand. Crumble to Dust is actually reasonable against this matchup because they have Celestial Colonnade. That's why sometimes I'll bring in the Acidic Slimes. So we have a decision whether we want to do the Acidic Slime or we want to do something else with Crumble. I'm going to go ahead and bring Acidic Slimes in because I'm partial to them. I'll take out, in this case, 1 Primal Command, and I think I want to take out one of the Nissas as well. Nissa's actually pretty good. Take out a Utopia Sprawl. We'll run it that way. This deck's kind of weird. I haven't really figured out how to like board correctly all the time. Wow, we ramp everything. This deck, or this, sorry, not this deck. The starting hand is fine. Our opponent's going to second main to play everything. We'll fetch a basic here. Because pawns is a big thing in the meta from time to time, actually fetching a basic sometimes makes our opponent be just very careful with their mana bases. Even though we don't run Blood Moon. In fact, I probably can start running Blood Moon in this deck. I didn't own it before. Have I tried the Footsteps of the Goryo deck? The one with Woodfall Primus and Ashen Rider, and you basically get double triggers because they enter and then leave, and one is because of Persist and the other is because of just its ability. I saw it. Seems up my alley. I like Scape Shift. I don't, let me clarify though, I don't like Titan Shift. I like Scape Shift. I like the toolbox type decks. If you can give me a deck that is going to give me options within the deck to search, which is kind of what Summoner's Pact is doing here, I will be a happy camper. Let's try to just ramp up this land here. He lets me. All right. We'll play Oath. Court of Calling's pretty good. Wow. We'll just take a Windswept Heath there. We'll play a bird. They can remand it if they'd like. A little mana inefficient, but we avoid counter spells. I agree with something with Cord would be good. I was looking at getting into Modern. Lightning Bolt. Poof. I was looking at getting into Modern, and I was about to build Pod. A Reddit user was selling Scape Shift, and I was like, hey, I kind of like this fish-looking art card. Let's jam it. And I really like Scape Shift, kind of like how it works. But right after that is when Pod then got banned, and I got kind of, you know, a little bit nervous about what was happening with the format. I played Scape Shift for a good like 2-3 years, and then now I just kind of play like Saffron Olive dot decks from the Goldfish. Let's see here. Our opponent's got 3 mana open. That's a lot. Blue decks like their mana. We have 4-5 mana showing with a land drop, and we have a Garruk that we want to get down. I think we just go for it. We have to. We kind of have to run into their non-counter spells. Okay. That was interesting. I would have to imagine they have a counter spell, but maybe they don't. Here we're going to put target creature on top of the library and search for a creature card, essentially trying to pseudo plow under them here. Apparently it's resolving, and so here we're just going to grab Eternal Witness. We can't cast it, but we can do our impression of plowing under. If they fetch, they lose their land on top. If their land's important, then they won't fetch. That means we sort of time walk them though, because they're not doing anything. You wish someone would just play plow under? I mean, we could try to make a deck. I am always. Let me grab this. For those that are not familiar, plow under right here. Put 2 target lands on top of their owner's library. I'm up for brewing an idea. If you got like kind of an idea or a skeleton, I'm also up for doing that. I know there's a couple streamers out there that do the whole brewing thing. But I do like a brew every now and then. We're gonna run Burning Tree. As I spoke earlier, it's mana neutral. Our opponent can't really counter this. After which we'll play Eternal Witness. Apparently we're off to the races here. We'll tap and then untap 2 lands. I don't want to play my other land just yet. No reason. I need to play it out. We'll place their steam vents back on top. And we'll go get... depending on what our opponent does here, we might just simply just go get like Hornet Queen. We can also just go get... oh. Getting Lightning Bolt. Yeah, we might just, well, we can like basically plow them under here. I think we actually want to just do that. Can we? If we play this, we're going to time walk them one turn here. We have an overrun in Garrick, and so we're going to get bolted. Oh, maybe we won't have this overrun anymore. Okay, we still have overrun. I think that's a mistake on our opponent's side. So what we're going to basically do is set ourselves up to win here with a Hornet Queen. We'll play our Hornet Queen out. We're going to play our Windswept Teeth out here too. And just move to our 5th turn. We have overrun with Garrick, and we have the ability to get Crater Hoof. I don't see us losing here. And we don't. Our opponent scoops up. Hooray! So now we have enough. Now we have enough points to play another league. I think we'll jam the Green Devotion deck one more time, and we'll save Green Devotion. And we'll save the play points for another time and another stream. So this will probably be the last match for the night. I do appreciate everybody that is here watching. Any feedback that anybody has given as well, I'll definitely take each one into consideration and try to figure out what we're gonna do here going forward. If we're gonna be a brew stream, if we're gonna just be a look up what what was the top 5 and play one of those, or whatever with renting a deck. How do you have a none/5 amount of play points? A none/5? What do you mean by a none/5? I had 89 points or something. We won our dice roll. Oh. So we don't really want prime time in the hand. I have 1 in the deck. We can mulligan this. This hand, if it had like an Arbor Elf and a Forest, would be nuts. How do I have a non-divided? I don't know. Is there a way to get like 4 play points or something? Now that you mention that, I don't know. I don't know. $69. I don't know. Oh, this is a lot of do nothing. We'll keep it. We'll put that on top. Play that out. I don't know. I don't know how I must have like somehow triggered something where I got, I guess 4 points or 9, or I don't know. Oh, my opponent says hello. We'll say hello back. Let's see here. We're going to jam Utopia Sprawl, but we're going to put it on a basic forest just to be safe. It's always good. Naming green. Pass the turn. Ooh, bubble. Ava Spike. Okay, our opponent is playing red-blue, punches in the face, Bobble. Alright. I don't think we want to take any more damage until we're ready to just try to kill our opponent. I think we'll jam Garrick out there. If we were to untap, we could get 3 mana here. Does that get us anything? It gets us a Summoner's Pact, Eternal Witness, and we die. So we're going to just create a beast and pass the turn. We'll start creating our board here. Our opponent is deciding to look at their deck a lot. They're not progressing their board state. I'm waiting for another land here. If they don't have a land, that's really bad for our opponent. And they've missed the land drop. Alright, here's our Rockstar in the matchup. I actually believe we can win here, since we have 2 Summoner Packs. So we're not drawing another land here. So we'll play our Stomping Ground out, untapped. We're going to play Burning Tree. This first Summoner Pact, we're going to get another Burning Tree. We're remaining mana neutral here because now we can fire this up and we can go get now the Eternal Witness packages here. We have an untap with Garrick, so we're sitting pretty nice here. We are going to go ahead and untap so that we know where we're sitting. We're going to continue to cast our E-Witness Summoner Pact, basically go into Super Debt here modes. At this point I have one more Eternal Witness, I believe. And we can do this. So we'll grab our final Eternal Witness. Make this a little bigger here. A little bigger. There we go. So we have one more Eternal Witness, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to play our Eternal Witness, grabbing our Summoner Pack last time. And from here, we'll then cast for Crater Hoof. Just make sure we grab the right card here. We have plenty of mana. We'll Crater Hoof. And I think we got enough for the perfect amounts. 22. And that's what we do. We went to Super Debt. That's quite spicy. What I like about, when I talk about toolbox decks, what I like about this one is we just went off, but we're using mana neutral. So it's a deck building decision, mana neutral creatures, Summoner Packs, but refusing to pay our pack price. And we're using utility creatures here, up here at the high end. What we can also do here is with Eternal Witness and Summoner Pact, we can also do a little bit of the Primal Command. So we have 2 options here. We can like gain life and like plow under our opponent. We can ramp, and we have an overrun here and an overrun in Crater Hoof Behemoth. We have a token generator, which actually draws those cards if people don't ignore it, and it actually can add, and we can just do basic beats. Yeah, just a variety of things that we can do. Our opponent is playing blue-red Mishra Bauble Lava Spike something. Elder Scale Worm, by the way, is kind of spicy in this list. I do have a soft spot for this worm. I don't really know what to do. We could bring in like 2 chokes. Bring in 2 chokes and take out 2 oaths. Oath does not hit choke. Nissa is probably actually my favorite part of this deck. So she generates creatures. So by turn, she usually comes out if in hand by turn 2. So turn 2, 3. So then I don't have to worry about getting Burning Trees or so many Eternal Witnesses. And it actually makes the amount of creatures you need much smaller, because each plant will also get the boost from Crater Hoof. Hornet Queen has been hit or miss, but does a huge spike to your devotion, And then if your board is fairly empty, gives you the amount of creatures you need to then just simply get Hornet Queen, untap with Garruk, or Hornet Queen and get our Crater Hoof, or you can just simply Hornet Queen and really stabilize against like Affinity and other matchups. I have a Regal Force as an option. I've brought in Acidic Slime Main as an option. I brought in a second Primeval Titan. They're all good options. I think it's just what you see you're doing, and you pivot your deck in such a way. Hornet Queen's probably the weakest. You are correct. It's probably the weakest. Standard fluffy hand, beautiful, just no lands. I will say there is a greedy part of me that if I could hit runner lands, you would see why Nissa's here. You'd see why Eternal Witness and Primal Command's here. You'd see why the deck does what it does, but we can't keep this. But runner land would basically blow this game up. All right, we're gonna keep this. It doesn't do a whole lot, but we're okay with that. That was a mistake. That's all right though. Cool. Fetching in response. That's interesting. We're gonna go ahead and get the red mana. We do have one Kessick Wolf Run in the deck, and so I do need the red mana for my Kessick Wolf Run. What would have been better is just a forest and then played the fetch land later just to get tapped. Alright, I gotta ask, is this a deck? Is this something that's like creeping up? Because we played against it in our league when we were playing Pyro Prison, and now we're playing against it in the fun area. Not a fan of Terastodon. Terastodon's not doing what we want. Terastodon is also kind of expensive, and if we're already, what is it, 9 mana, right? Terastodon. It's 9, right? No, it's 8. I mean, if we're going for 8, I want to be playing Crater Hoof. I like the ability to destroy the permanents. You got something going for you there. Certainly like that. I don't know. I don't think I want to be giving my opponent creatures. I like the utility of it. I don't know if it's what this deck wants to do. I'd almost rather I'd just rather have like another Primeval Titan or something. Versus trying to jam like a Terastodon or just other giant utility creatures. Alright, I do think that this is some sort of deck that might be making a little bit of a wave in Magic, or someone online made a wave with it, just because it's the second time we've seen it tonight. And before tonight, I hadn't even seen it. This guy is sweet, by the way. This is a blue-red hasty prowess guy. This is sweet. This is also killing us. Turn 3, guys. Turn 3. Alright, our opponent got us in turn 3. Choke seems really good. Also seems slow. We know what they're doing now a little bit more, so Spellskite's pretty good. And then this is the big daddy. This is the card we bring in now instead of Hornet Queen. Elder Scale Worm. That's what we bring in. Trying to think if there's anything else we really want here. Baloth is probably slightly better than Nissa. So we take in Nissa and Hornet Queen out. Scavenging Ooze could be okay. I don't think, from what I remember, there was no like weird or Snapcaster recursion type of stuff going on. It was somewhat of a thing 5 months ago. Okay. I guess I just never ran into it 5 months ago. We're actually going to go down one prime time. I want to go down the one prime time for the spell skite. We'll go down one courser. Prime time helps us ramp. Elder Scale Worm is what we want in this matchup. It is kind of tooth and nail. So since we got a minute 20 in the sideboard here, I'll quickly explain it. We have some sideboard cards in here, so I'll get those out on the side here. What this is doing is using Arbor Health, Utopia Sprawl, untapping, and Nykthos. And I say untapping, clicking Garruk. And then it has an Eternal Witness package with Primal Command, Eternal Witness package with Summoner Pact, Burning Tree, and Craterhoof. And then it has a Summoner Pact, Primal Time, or Prime Time, and then just kind of general creatures to ramp, maybe use Kessig Wolfron or other pieces. So it has like probably about 3 or 4 lines of attack, and it just depends on how you want to approach your matchup and where you're going at. Tooth and Nail obviously tries to ramp, entwine, and then get what is it? The Hasty God and the like Emrakul. This one's trying to use basically our ramping Arbor Elves and Birds of Paradise. It's trying to use those little creatures and make them a threat later with Craterhoof. Having 2 unsummoning sickness guys and Craterhoof is usually lights out. I've done it now twice on stream with a Craterhoof and a Beast token, hitting for 22 on turn 4. That's what we're trying to do. This hand is fabulous against our opponent, assuming that they don't just jam mountains. All right, so, and what's really cool is we can actually just do like everything next turn. We'll hope that they fetch and do like a Serum Visions or something here, and we'll lock down 1 land here. Yes, that looks beautiful. All right, let's hope this is how we go out here. We lock them down, being rude. They do get to... Ooh. I guess these are good too because you cast them and that prowess trigger. Pretty sweet. I like this deck. It's cool. It's not my kind of thing, but I like it. I respect my opponent playing it. All right. So I think we hide Nykthos for the time being. I think we go ahead and load up our land here. We're going to play a creature to get some pressure, and we'll play our choke. Our choke locks our opponent out, maybe? Nope, not completely. Now we're just looking for really a Summoner Pact at this point. Garruk would be great too. We can get some creatures, overrun. But we really want a Summoner Pact here. We're going to play everything. We're going to fetch out more of our basics. Do that proverbial thinning of the deck. Or we'll take a Stomping Ground. And now we have like all the creatures. Summoner Pact wins it. Next turn. A lot of things help us. You've never gotten to play in casual decks like this? I wouldn't call this totally casual. I would classify myself as quite the spike, if you will. But wait, what's our opponent playing? Lava Spike. They're just punching us in the face. So as long as we don't die here, I think we've got it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. I would call myself a fairly spiky player. Dang, 9. All right, here we definitely use the ability. We go get a Keswick Wolf Run, and we get a Stomping Ground. So we're set up for next turn. So we have a kill next turn. Yep. I guess it's always fun to play kind of a little bit of a casual deck. I'm personally would tell you that if you're a spike or if you're someone that really likes to be very competitive, there are certainly casual decks out there that can be optimized in such a way that you just can like go crazy with them. So I don't know how our opponent can beat us here. I'm trying to think. I don't see why we don't play our Baloth here. It gives us 2 mana on the Nykthos, gains us life, keeps us kind of safe here. So we gain our life. Well, our opponent scoops up, but the play here is simply we attack in with Burning Tree, Eternal Witness, and Primetime, and then we just Keswick Wolf Run. Our devotion to green is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. So we get 12, 13, 14, 15. We take 2 that way, so we get plus 13 plus 0 and trample, and that should clear up that game. So anyway, close out some of these. Oh, we're not going to join a league here. So we ran out a couple games with our Green Devotion deck on the side here. Got our play points up to 99. No, I have no idea why I've got a non-divisible by 5. Ran the Green Devotion deck. We ran the Pyro Prison board, the pre-board deck tonight. This is the one we're trying to optimize and make the best it can. I do appreciate everyone, though, hanging out tonight. If you liked what you've seen, I'll throw out the shameless, hit the follow button. I do appreciate any of the conversations that do happen. Whatever we can do to make ourselves better at this game is always welcome. Really do appreciate all of the conversations, whether you think my play was wrong or what you saw differently. Helps everybody out. Definitely great to be talking about those points. That being said, though, guys, I'm gonna hang it up for tonight. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys back another time when I'm streaming. I'll take into account some of the other people, what they've said. Do I play Legacy? I play almost only Modern, mainly because I can play Modern in paper. Modern's very popular at my local store. Legacy, there is a store in my city that attempts to do that, and almost always on Facebook they are asking for 4, 5, 6 more people. It's just not very popular in my area. Would I like to play Legacy? Probably. And would I consider playing Legacy online? Certainly. I would need to do a little more research into the decks before kind of settling on one. Or I'd take what I think it was Surdy said and do this Mana Traders thing. If I did Mana Traders, though, I would have to do probably like much higher. Although I think the dual lands aren't too bad online because they were sort of reprinted. So I like watching Legacy, Shannon. I definitely like the format. Rough time you plan on streaming. Let's go with I'm not sure. I know that doesn't make it very good for you guys who would like to maybe come back and watch again. I don't know because it's the holidays. We're hosting Christmas this year, so that's kind of cool. So I'm not going to be on with family around. I'm looking at setting up a more regular stream in 2018. So if you can wait till 2018, I can better answer that. What I am thinking, roughly, I'm in Central Time Zone on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm thinking 7 p.m. Central to about 9:30, 10. So after work. And then Fridays will be a little different. I'll either go to FNM or I'll play FNM online. And then the weekends, weekends will be open. I'll have to decide what I want to do then. So we're looking at kind of like 7 to 10-ish Central Standard Time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably Friday a little later. But I stay on a little later. I know that doesn't quite answer it. It's not going to be steady for the next week. I'm going to try to make it steady, but thank you for asking. All right. With that, I think I've been live for quite a few hours. Need to get some water. Streaming and talking takes actually quite a bit out of you. But again, I do appreciate, if you want to just hit the follow button when I'm on, I do appreciate you guys just stopping in, even if you can only stop in for just a single game. It's always welcome. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next time. You guys take care. Have a good night.